Good morning from my third day in Leeds, where I'm just about to catch this Trans-Pennine Express service to Scarborough, which will take me through York, which I visited yesterday. Today though, I want to head for the beach. But because it's me, there are a couple of intermediate stations between York and Scarborough, which I'm going to do first. This train will actually pass through faster stations I visited yesterday to York as well. And the first intermediate station is Malton, where I have an hour until the next train to have a little explore. It seems that the station is actually situated in a place called Norton, as just over here you have the River Derwent, which separates it from Malton. I presume that this is a different River Derwent than the one that runs through Matlock. So I have come into the town of Malton. I'm at the marketplace here, and I did just spot an 843 bus to Scarborough, which I do think has come from Leeds. That must have taken a lot longer than a train though. I just passed by that little door on the road, and there was a sign pointing up here for Castle Gardens. So, presumably, there must have been an old castle here in Malton. I didn't actually know this was here, so this is going to come as a surprise to me. There's a little bit of wall. I feel like if there was something substantial, I would know about it, so it could just be a nice little local nature reserve area, really. Oh, I'd like to read if there's any information on that Castle Gardens sign, but I'm going to disturb the little bunny rabbit. Sorry. Does it have anything good? Oh no, it's just telling me that there's trees here. And I figured I might as well loop back to the station by passing alongside a little bit of the River Derwent. So I am back at Malton Station now, and I'm quite surprised that it's a single platform, especially considering that there are additional tracks right next door. There used to be more than just the two intermediate stations to Scarborough. You can see quite clearly where some of them used to be as you travel along, but many of them closed in the 1930s due to competition with the buses. This makes Malton quite the isolated station nowadays. It takes about 25 minutes to reach here from York, so it made sense to get this one done now, en route to Scarborough. And the second stop is Seamer, but I don't have an hour here because this station gets additional hourly northern services from Hull. That's still in about 45 minutes though, so I still have enough time to take a wander around. So the screen said the front 5 carriages open at Seamer, the guard said 4. In actual fact, it's kind of more 4.5. I don't think that door would have opened though. So unlike Malton, Seamer does have 2 platforms. It's an island station, but it still has tracks at the side. There's a couple of sidings and a nice old signal box. I do know that there is a little nature reserve and a lake, I think way down on this footpath. I might be able to make it in time. Well, here we are. I've pushed myself to make it down to the lake here at Burton Riggs Nature Reserve. I will have to go back to the station quite soon though. Was it smart to push myself to reach here? Probably not, because we are in a heat wave right now. It is a little bit cooler up north than it is in London, which is why I'm glad I did this trip. But then York yesterday was still quite the challenge. It should be a little bit cooler again at the coast, and I do have all day there now. So if I could just chill on the beach at Scarborough all day if I wished, but yes, I can take my time despite the heat. Well, I kind of got to head back to the station, but then I can take my time at Scarborough. Well, this will be my one and only northern service of the day, and I'll only be on it for a few minutes. And so I've made it to Scarborough at the end of the line, and it does seem like this was once a much bigger station. This is as far as the trains go nowadays, but there is so much space down here. It looked like there was an old part to it as I was coming in on the train, and then you can also see the longest railway bench at any station in the world at about 139 meters. I thought the one at Knaresborough the other day was long. that has nothing on this one. But strangely, it's at a bit of the station where no one's ever going to sit or wait at. Why on earth would you wait all the way down there when your train is parked up down here? Even in there looks like it's part of the old station. Maybe an old goods yard or something like that. Well, as soon as you come out of Scarborough station, you are greeted with an amazing Art Deco theatre. That's a beautiful building. Yes, I know I've already delayed the coast enough today, but I thought I would take a walk through Peasholm Park just so I can then loop back around via the beach and into the town for later. As I entered the park, there was a poster saying it's one of Europe's favourites, and then this poster is claiming to have the biggest miniature railway in Scarborough. I did know this was here. This is Peasholm Station. Well, I wasn't expecting to get to walk straight through Scarborough's open air theatre. I thought this would be tucked away, but I guess maybe they barricade the path off if there's an event on. So there is quite a few things here in Peasholm Park. I can see why it might have made the shortlist for one of Europe's favourites. So here we are. I'm finally descending towards the beach. I'm right beside the miniature railway, and there is actually a disused beach station. You can see the platform there, and I've just spotted this tower, and I was wondering what on earth is it, because it's abandoned. But I noticed there's another one, and then I spotted the motors up there, and I think this could be an old ski lift. So like the one which I found and rode on the Isle of Wight, it would take you down towards the beach. My worry about it being too hot is non-existent now, because there's actually a really nice chill breeze coming off of the sea. It's actually quite strong. I wasn't expecting it to be quite windy here, but that's fine. That just makes this so much easier to do. And I'm happy about that too, as once I walk around the bay, I'm going to be climbing the cliffs up to the ruins of Scarborough Castle. And that ascent might have been quite tricky if it was really hot. Okay, it looks like the sea is right up against the wall over here, so I'm going to have to go up onto the road to walk to the castle. Well, here we go. I've made it to the other side of the bay, so the climb up to the castle begins. Well, here we are. I've made it to the top of Scarborough Castle, or at least as much as I can go up without paying to go in. There is a £14 entry fee because it is a English heritage site. So Scarborough Castle mostly dates from the mid-12th century, but it became a ruin after a 5-month battle during the English Civil War under what became known as the Great Siege. It's insane to think just how constant this castle was getting bombarded over such a long period of time, and now it's just become one of many ruins in the country like this that are now hundreds of years old. And with the castle looming above, I've descended now to South Bay, where I've spotted on the map that it looks like it's a very wide sandy beach, but it also looks like most of it is wet, and that is actually the case. The tide can go very far out here, but because it's sandy, it's easy to walk on barefoot, so I can actually use this as a bit of a shortcut rather than having to go around up on the esplanade. Now it looks like actually the castle and the harbour here is mostly protecting me from the wind at this stage, so we'll see how cold the water's going to be. Oh, it is quite cold. I might get used to it. It might have been a lot worse if the heavy wind was happening right now. So there's one building I wanted to look out for whilst here in Scarborough, and I mean, it's pretty difficult to miss because it stands out a mile, and that is the Grand Hotel, which when it opened in 1867 was the largest hotel in Europe. The hotel's theme is time, so there are 12 floors to represent the months of the year, there's 4 towers to represent the seasons, 52 chimneys to represent the weeks, and 365 rooms to represent the days. Except a renovation in 1978 saw the rooms decline to 280. Ah, this has just been absolutely fantastic. Scarborough might be one of my new favourite seaside towns. I've really enjoyed just getting to walk in the water all the way over. I don't get to do this too often because most places in the south are quite stony. I feel like this is where you can get your postcard views of Scarborough, and I've walked all the way over the bay to find the South Cliff Funicular Railway, which is the first of its kind in the country, dating from 1875. I don't think it's in operation right now though. If it's not, I have quite the climb up these cliffs to get back towards the town and the station. Yeah, it's not operating unfortunately, otherwise I would have actually done it. There is a red plaque there which gives you the history, or quite hard to read, but it says designed by Crossley Brothers of Manchester, opened in July 1875 as the first funicular railway in the United Kingdom. Oh, to be honest, that's probably a better plaque just because I can actually get a clearer shot of it. And it only would have been £1.50. That's not too bad. There is another cliff lift here at Scarborough, but it's been closed since 2006. It's still in situ though, although good luck moving one of the cars down that incline nowadays. And if I did catch the other one, then I would have been walking on top of that viaduct. Now I just have to find a way to climb up there instead. And all of a sudden I feel like I'm home. I wish a London Underground station brought me to the beach. It would be the best entrance to any station on the network if that's the case. Well, there we go. Now that I've made it to the top, I can get a nice shot of the Grand Hotel in the sun. Funnily enough, there's a rather grim looking Travelodge immediately opposite, and yet I still think I would choose that just because it's probably a lot cheaper. Funnily enough, right beside the Grand Hotel here, there is one more funicular railway. This one is in use. It's just, I think it's closed right now though. It's getting late into the evening. It definitely has the nicest entrance out of the three, and I think there even used to be two over on the North Bay as well. But it's time for me to now find a different type of railway. Well, that has been a fantastic day out in Scarborough. I really have enjoyed my day. And the last time I caught a Trans-Pennine Express service back from a coastal station, it wasn't the greatest journey from Cleethorpes, so hopefully I can get back to Leeds nicely now. And then we've got one more day left in the north, and I will visit another seaside location, which I'm really looking forward to. So thank you for watching, and subscribe so you don't miss the final part of this series.
Good evening everyone, this is the 1751 Trans-Pennine Express service through to Manchester Airport.
So funnily enough, after saying hopefully there's no problems with this Trans-Pennine Express train, it seemed like it was going to terminate at York. Then it changed to Leeds, but the conductor was unsure because his shift was ending at York and no one was covering him. But then someone did come along and it did end up running all the way through to Manchester. But I still arrived at Leeds 15 minutes late anyways. At least I got here, thanks Trans-Pennine Express.